I hate to have to do this twice in the space of one day, but I need to shine the spotlight back on simple Simon Harris, the Taoiseach of Ireland, and his partner in crime, Micheál Martin, on Taoiseach in relation to St. Paddy's Day. Now, I know it's a little way away, although it's not that far away. March isn't too far away from us right now. But there's talk already about whether or not these pair of goons will be invited to the White House, which is pretty traditional that the Irish contingent is brought over there, and the red carpet or the green carpet possibly would be rolled out for them. But there's question marks hanging over Harris and Martin at this point in time. Look at this face. Trump's presidency creates instability, says Simon Harris, as no invitation issued yet to the White House for St. Patrick's Day. When will this gomeril realise that he should keep his mouth shut when it comes to America and Trump and foreign affairs, period? He should be muzzled, gagged, and removed from his current position, unless, of course, he's in his current position to cause maximum instability and damage to Ireland, which nobody can dispute that he's in a very good position to do that, and he's executing that role very, very well. Taoiseach Harris said that Donald Trump's US presidency creates instability, but added that he has a fondness for Ireland. I have no doubt in my mind that Donald Trump has a fondness for Ireland. Who wouldn't? It's the most beautiful place in the world. The unfortunate thing is there's many a numpty like Harris and Micheál and the entire cabinet there giving Ireland a bad name. So I've no doubt Trump has a fondness for Ireland. But look at this sap. Harris, would you want that at your White House if you were the president? Would you invite that to your party? Would you have a house party and invite that? Catch a grip. Harris has said Trump's US presidency creates instability. He also said an invitation to the White House for St. Patrick's Day has not yet been issued, but he believes that one will be sent. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Or maybe a message is going to be sent out after they were snubbed, don't forget, at the inauguration. They were all snubbed at the inauguration. So they now believe, well, water under the bridge. That was January. We're now into February. March is coming up. It's St. Paddy's Day. It's Ireland, the Irish and Americans. They all love us. They want us there. It's traditional. Maybe not. What a snub it would be if none of them were invited. Harris, who is also Ireland's Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister, God help Ireland. God help Ireland. Said his department was in full preparatory mode for any tariffs the US might impose in the EU. So he's talking about a fondness for Ireland, and he's talking about an invite that he thinks is coming to St. Paddy's Day at the White House, but yet he's also preparing for a trade war that might happen with the US and Europe that could affect Ireland. Completely detached from reality. But he said there is a way forward if people keep their head over the Trump presidency. Well, he's already demonstrated that he can't keep his head. And not only can he not keep his head, but he can't keep his mouth shut. I spoke to President Trump. I spoke to him at the end of November. Okay, the end of November. It's now February. So that indicates that he hasn't spoke to him since. Or should I say, Trump has not wanted to speak to him since that point. I have no doubt he has a fondness for Ireland. He understands Ireland. He understands the positive contributions that Ireland makes. Yes, yes, and yes to all of that, but not Harris and not Martin and not the Shar that are in government at the minute. They are a blot on Ireland's copybook. They're a fly in Ireland's ointment. So what Harris is saying does make sense. But when he factors himself, Micheál and co into the equation, then it blows it all out of the water. I think we need to take a deep breath in relation to this and need to be calm in relation to this. There's no doubt there are challenges on the horizon. Take a deep breath. Be calm. He should be hyperventilating and he should be in a lather at the state that Ireland's in. And not only that, but the way that it's going into the abyss. if they have their way. What have we seen from Trump? He goes on then to talk about tariffs. We saw how he put tariffs on China. We saw how he proceeded with them. We saw how he put tariffs on Canada, and then he paused them. It creates instability. It creates a challenge. So here we have him again. He says that Trump's a ghoul. He refuses to apologize for it. He doesn't get invited to the inauguration. And now he's coming out expectant of an invitation to the White House and saying that Trump's current policies are creating instability and challenging. The point I'm making is tariffs are bad for the people of America. Here we have it again. Here we have Simon Harris, the Taoiseach, telling Trump he's a ghoul, that his policies are creating instability and that he believes that they're bad for the American people. And he wants an invite for St. Paddy's Day. He believes there's a deal to be done with Mr. Trump and said he had proposed that the last Foreign Affairs Council, the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, should meet the EU's foreign ministers. Harris had written to him and requested a call for a meeting. Again, requested a call. He can't even get a phone call with Marco Rubio. Any wonder? Would you want to talk to that? Would you even want to talk to that on the phone, let alone sit opposite that at a meeting? Or have your dinner in that thing's presence? I think not. But here we have part of Dumb and Dumber, Micheál. He's in the same boat. Look at the trap on that. Taoiseach expects White House invitation from Trump. Again, expectation. Harris expects an invite. Micheál expects an invite. In other words, they haven't got one. And it's only, 5 or 6 weeks away? What is it to send out wedding invitations 12 weeks in advance? Just, it's a formal occasion. Give you time to prepare, make room in your calendar. 12 weeks for a wedding and 6 weeks out, and they haven't got their invites yet. Twitchy bum time at the Dáil. Taoiseach Martin has said he expects to be invited to the White House. Again, expects to mark St. Patrick's Day, where he will raise a broad range of issues with US President Donald Trump. If you were Donald Trump, would you want this sap coming near you on St. Paddy's Day, over dinner, raising issues? What issues will he raise, do you think? What issues do you think he's going to raise? In time-honoured tradition, which we appreciate, Martin said, President Trump, when he was previously president, continued with that tradition. Yeah, a lot of water has passed under the bridge since old Trump was last in office. Ireland and Trump worked well in that period, and we want the constructive engagement and relationship water under the bridge. Because it was good, 8 years ago, doesn't mean it's going to be good now. Micheál asked if he would raise Trump's recent comments about Gaza and turning it into the Riviera of the Middle East. Martin added that Ireland's position in Gaza is very clear. So here we have Trump entertaining Netanyahu this week, and Netanyahu telling Trump that he was the greatest ally and the greatest friend that Israel had ever seen, and he wants to grab the Gaza Strip and he wants to turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East. And you think Micheál Martin is going to be invited to the White House to challenge Trump on his foreign policy when he's in bed with Netanyahu? Catch a grip, Micheál. The focus has to be on a ceasefire. The second phase is confirmed. All the hostages released. And there's a massive surge of humanitarian aid into Gaza. Well, sure, Trump's talking about taking Gaza over. He says, we're going to take control. It's going to be ours. We're going to own it. We're going to move everybody out of it. We're going to level it. We're going to build it up and move the people of the world into it. It's hell on earth, of that there is no doubt, but the immediate focus has to be on getting aid and supports into the Palestinian people in Gaza and reduce level of conflict and violence in the region. And again, here we have it. I did a clip earlier on today talking about the west of Ireland is still 2 weeks later without electricity. Old people being taken to the hospital with hypothermia. Elderly pensioners not having any gas or electricity or phone signal or internet or able to get up and down their lanes. Communities in disarray, and here's this goon talking about getting money over to Palestine. He added there are a range of issues that will be discussed at the meeting. The economic relationship between Europe and the US and Ireland, and the US is very significant. Blah, 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 on and on he goes. So let me ask you the question. If you were having a dinner party, would you want Martin and Harris at your table? I would. I would love to have them round to my house. I would love to have a dinner party and invite those two there. But I'll tell you one thing, when I got them in front of me, I wouldn't be smiling at them and bowing to them and scraping to them and serving them hors d'oeuvres and the finest of steak. I'd be giving it to them between the eyes for what they are. A waste of space and a waste of oxygen and treacherous, corrupt, rotten individuals. So, let me ask you the question and feel free to answer it in the comments. Would you hold a dinner party for Micheál and Simon? Would you want them at your house, even to feed them, or would you want to give it to them between the eyes? Verbally, of course. Verbally, I'm talking about here. So, that's the state of play at the minute. Will they? Won't they? Or will Trump send out a message? Will he snub them again in March like he snubbed them in January? So if you like this content, and why wouldn't you? Or maybe you don't, maybe you hate it. I don't care. Either way, it's your choice. Cut and paste the link, dump it into a Facebook group, dump it into a Telegram book, dump it wherever you like. Send it to people you love, send it to people you hate. Get the word out there, get people talking, get the spotlight shining on this rotten crew that are currently masquerading as an Irish government. But for now, as I always say, this is me, Rick Munn, no risk, no reward media, over and out.